In this video, we're going to go over the allocation feature, which allows users to determine if there's enough inventory in the assigned warehouse to ship an order in relationship to other orders that have already been allocated. When an order is allocated, it will set aside inventory to be shipped with that order and prevent it from being assigned to another order. But it's important to note that allocating an item to an order does not adjust your actual inventory. It just helps to ensure that you properly fulfill orders based on your current physical inventory. So to use the allocation feature, we will go to the orders list page, and you'll see there is an allocation dropdown among all of your other filters. So first, let's take a look at all of these different statuses that we can filter to. The first status is unallocated, and this is the original state of the order. So this means that no allocation has been run on the order if we filter to orders in that status. Could not allocate means that allocation has run on the order, but there's not enough inventory to allocate to this order. Allocated means that allocation has run and there is enough inventory allocated to the order, so it's ready to ship. Partially allocated means that allocation has run on the order and there's enough inventory to allocate for some of the lines on the order, but other lines do not have inventory to allocate, so they cannot be shipped yet. In this instance, you may want to split the order to get the allocated items out quickly, or you may want to hold off until the full order can be allocated so that you're shipping out in as few shipments as possible. And the last status is over allocated. This means that the order was allocated, but since the time of allocation, the inventory is reduced in some way, whether because an unallocated order was shipped or inventory was manually adjusted, and so on. So the products on this order no longer have enough inventory to be allocated to it, and we'll want to take a look at these orders in the over allocated status to clean this up. So in order to use the allocation feature on the orders page, we will first select this list of orders that we would like the allocation to run on. And when it runs, it's going to run from top to bottom. And you'll see currently that I have my orders sorted from newest to oldest. So I have this newest order on top and the oldest on the bottom. So if I were to run it now, it would allocate to the newest orders first. And we'll probably want to sort to the oldest orders first so that we can get those older orders out and those customers aren't waiting too long. And then the new orders may be waiting for inventory refresh, and it's not imperative that they go out first. So once I have that sorted, I'm going to go to the actions filter and select allocate, confirm that I would like to allocate those orders, and you'll see that it allocated from top to bottom. So if we take a look at these orders, you'll see this first order is in the allocated status, and it's one line. It shows an indication that it is allocated. So we have enough to filter to fulfill this order, and it is ready to ship out. This second order is in the partially allocated status, and you'll see that this first line, which is the same as the first order, does have enough inventory to fulfill this order as well, so it has been allocated. And then the second item does not have enough inventory to be fulfilled, so it has not been allocated, thus our partially allocated status. And then if we take a look at our last order, we'll see that it is in the could not allocate status because there wasn't enough inventory to allocate these lines. And you'll see that this is the same item that was on these first two orders. So there must only be two of those on hand so that we can fulfill those older two orders, and this one cannot be fulfilled. And as we were showing a minute ago, you can see that you can filter by your allocation status or batch of statuses so that you can take action on those orders. So we talked about this over allocated status, and let's take a look at that example. So let's say that I would like to go ahead and ship this order that it shows in the could not allocated status because I know that I do technically have enough on hand to ship it. If I select that and go ahead and mark it as shipped, you'll see that the other items that have the other orders with that item on it have moved to the over allocated status because we now only have one in stock, but have allocated one to each of these orders. So we'll probably want to deallocate this newest order so that we can ship out the oldest order first. So we'll select it, select deallocate, confirm, and you'll see its allocation status has now been removed, and this first order goes back to that allocated status so that I know that it's ready to ship out. And this is how we're going to interact with the allocation feature on the orders list page. And you'll notice it was a manual process of selecting the orders that I wanted to allocate, selecting actions, selecting allocate, and confirming. But if we wanted to automate allocating orders, we would use an automation rule. And this is probably what you'll want to do so that your orders are automatically allocated as they import, so you know if you can ship them out quickly or not. So in order to set this up, we will select add an automation rule. And let's say we want every single order to be automated, so we'll say that the order ID is not blank because all orders should have an order ID. We'll select the allocate order option and click save. And so let's go create an order to show how this works. I will select an address, add an item to the order, and click create. So as this order is created, it's running through our automation rules, and once it completes, we will see that it is now in the allocated status. So what this means is I created an order for this item, and because it did have enough on stock and I had that automation rule, it automatically allocated inventory towards it. So I know quickly that that order is ready to go, and I can filter to my allocated orders to get those out the door. So to recap, what this feature allows us to do is determine if there's enough inventory in the assigned warehouse to ship an order out. And then we can quickly take action on orders that were in that could not allocate status, for example. So we might need to go to the products tab, filter to the status of oversold, and create a PO for those products to get the new product in and be able to ship those orders out. And that's it for this feature. So if you'd like some more information on it, I would definitely suggest going to support.ordoro.com and searching for allocation. Or you can always reach out to us with any questions that you might have about the feature or getting it set up on your account. Thanks for watching.